So on that, Ayan, you were saying like Amit, he is not the number three you are looking at. Fair enough. Sudeep,
I don't think
your
he's the best.
yeah, you're not the best. Yeah, Sudeep, your take on Sai Sudarshan and what is the selection? What is your thoughts
I
on?
think, well, I think the selectors are looking at it, given his, age, looking for a long term, future for Sai Sudarshan at the moment. But if you say honestly speaking, I don't see him as the ideal number three. Uh, you know, Given the choice, my choice would have been, Ruturaj Gaikwad for number three. He's a much technically accomplished batsman than Sai Sudarshan.
Okay,
And
so
if
you think
if you
Ruturaj
go by
Gaikwad? Okay,
Ajit Agarskar's logic of dropping Karun Nair, because he did not score well in the same
yeah,
applies to Sai
yeah,
Sudarshan
yeah.
also. But I mean, both
Correct,
averaged
correct,
around 24, 25, in the England series.
correct,
So
correct.
that is not a
Absolutely.
logic. So
That is
he's
what I'm saying.
definitely not
Sai
the
should
number
even
three.
Akash Chopra, Varun Aaron, the experts who were in Crick Bus, DK and
But
Harsha, almost a
because he,
lot of people were not very confident with Sai Sudarshan. That is where Abhimanyu Mishra's name was getting floated. So
so,
people are
but
not very happy that Sai Sudarshan is got selected.
so I would definitely, want the selectors to have a look at Ruturaj Gaikwad. Give him some
That's
chance
what.
because he's a technically much better batsman than the current crop.
So even our experts are also not okay with Sai Sudarshan. As Aryan rightly said, he has got the opportunity. Whether we have to see whether he can grab it with both hands. But yes, of
But
course, he has to walk a long way if he has to become even a
yeah,
one-third
yeah.
Pujara. राहुल
And
द्रविड़ तो दूर की बात है, बहुत
and
दूर की बात है.
the kind of
So
T20
yes.
matches we are playing now, it will be very difficult to adjust to Test cricket technique.
Adjust. And he's a good T20 player. Ian rightly said. Against
Uh,
South Africa, he might survive one of the test matches. In New Zealand, I think he's going to be a cropper unless
i-
that bottom hand he comes back well. And his shuffling issue is a major issue.
in fact, given the
I think he's a
Surya's lack
proper
of
leg before
form,
candidate.
given
Yeah.
Surya's lack of form, I won't be surprised if he gets into the T20 World Cup squad. Surya Kumar because
I
he's
have a
in a
feeling that
pathetic
Shubman
form.
Gill will become the captain right away, and
Uh,
Surya might be dropped. And as you rightly said, Sai Sudarshan might come
Sai
in. Very
Sudarshan
true.
will become.
Sudeep, good point, mate. I think, but I have doubts. I mean, I have doubts on Sai Sudarshan as a long-term prospect at number three, unless it tightens his game, especially the
I
backfield,
think the
which
New
Oyan is
Zealand
saying,
tour
and the
will be the acid
bottom end.
test. New Zealand trip will be the acid test.
Yeah, it will be very difficult. I think personally, Sai Sudarshan is not yet a number three player. He might be a number five, but not a number three as of now. So, Sudeep, my fifth question to you is another paradox. Mukesh Kumar not there. I mean,
Yeah.
if he's not injured, he's not. Then why is he not there? Firstly, he should have been in England, which is Saurav Ganguly said. We just now discussed with Aaron discussing that as a preparation, which Saurashish, our guest, also had said in the show when he came, that if you have to take a bowler, you have to give him confidence. Uska हौसला बढ़ा के उसको लेना चाहिए. So why is Mukesh Kumar not there in this series? And do you think he will score wonders by just taking him to New Zealand? It will not happen one day. So what is your take on why Mukesh Kumar is not in the side? I mean, Bumrah, since Akashdeep we are saying is injured, we could have had Mukesh Kumar and Arshdeep maybe, or Mukesh Kumar, or one of the, I mean, Bumrah playing, I don't understand why Mukesh Kumar not. Your take on, we'll have to finish quickly. Your take
Yeah,
on Mukesh Kumar, why is it?
As I said, I pointed out, the Bumrah selection is, defies any logic, So in the same sense, a person like Mukesh Kumar, who could be a handful in New Zealand pitches, but you have to give him a chance. You have to prepare him for that tour. And this would have been the ideal platform to give him a chance and see how he performs. So I think the selectors have, I think, missed the bus, while selecting this team. This is a kind of team. This is not the right team which they have selected for a tour like
I
West
think,
Indies.
like the England series, also this same selection has been wrong.
Yeah,
I personally feel the team selection is not
Mukesh
right.
Kumar should have
With
been given a chance. Yeah,
Mukesh Kumar should have been. I don't know why he's not given a chance because the logic again is two spinner pacers are good enough. So Siraj and Bumrah will do. I don't know what they're going to do. Thank you, Sudeep, for your very crisp and short comment. Ayan, your take on why Mukesh is not there. I mean, do you understand the baffling selections this time around with this entire
Sure.
team?
I mean, on this thing, see, I believe, see, Mukesh, he's very good in Ranji Trophy cricket and all, but see, we also have to be realistic. He's he's like this 130 maximum. You say like, late 120s, early 130, maximum 130 kph bowlers, right? That's not a great speed. Okay. And we have many bowlers now also, Rahul. If you think of it, other than Bumrah, We have Siraj, we have
Mukesh is
Akashdeep.
around 135, 135-ish,
Is he?
138.
I would. That's far. Is he more than 135? I'm not sure because he looks to me like early 130s. I mean, I don't think he's that. He's not really quickie. I mean, he's like a
He,
line and
he's on
length bowler who can move
yeah,
the
he's a
ball.
line on one side of the
Who
wicket,
can
or he's a
move the ball,
line bowler. Yeah,
move
yeah.
the ball somewhat. So I think I see at the moment, see Prasidh Krishna, he did very well in England in the last test, which we won, right? We have Akashdeep, we have Siraj, we have Arshdeep. There are many players out there. And Mukesh did not do himself a great service when he played. I think he played one test against England or something in Vizag, where he got badly conked around. Okay, he leaked at some 6.5 runs per over or something like that. He's not really proved himself extremely good in that. So, and the other thing also, which I feel is important, he is really a number 11 with the bat. Okay, so India has been having this crisis of a very, very long tail, which starts from, we don't really have a genuine all rounder for Jadeja is there, but he's fading out fast. Akash Deep can bat. We have seen that he's played really a pretty good innings against England. Even Bumrah can bat a bit, even Siraj can bat somewhat. Mukesh, I think, is a problem. So he's a straight cut number 11. So given that, and the fact that he's not a tear away, he's not somebody. I mean, he's been given a chance. It's not that he's not being given a chance at all. There are many young players, many young bowlers out there. I'm not particularly, shocked. Like I'm quite surprised at, for example, Bumrah playing. That has been if Bumrah had not.
I think Oyan's got hanged now, and that is a problem. Oyan has got hanged. So we'll move to Amit to let Oyan come back. Amit, your take on Mukesh not selected?
Look, I mean, I personally feel that Mukesh is not express. And one more point, like, which is,
Yeah. Okay, Oyan, just
yeah,
carry on because I wanted to start off with Amit. So you can finish off and then Amit will go on with Mukesh. Yeah, yeah. Your take,
So
Amit.
as I said, Amit, yeah, please, Amit.
No. Yeah, I'm talking Oyan. Oyan, you finish off, then Amit will continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was, I don't know, I got cut off somehow. But what I was
Yeah.
saying was, I see had Bumrah not played, we would have had one vacancy. But with Bumrah being selected, whether because he wanted to play or whether the selectors, I mean, Gambhir is saying that you need to prove yourself because you didn't look as demonic as you're supposed to be in this weak field of the Asia Cup. Whether he has been asked to play, I don't know. But the fact is that he's playing, and if he plays, then I'm not sure that Mukesh Kumar gets a chance here because I don't think at the moment he's the
You make a
top
very
four
good point
of
that
the
in
of,
today's
of
cricket
Indian
you need to
fast bowlers.
score, and he's a proper bunny with the bat. So that's a major issue. Oyan, you said that he's a major bunny with the bat at number 11. So that's a major issue, you said. Yeah. Thanks, Oyan. Amit, your take on why Mukesh didn't get selected?
yeah, what I was telling, like, I mean, India, see, has a lot of Mukesh Kumar kind of bowlers these days. I mean, if you see, if you want swing kind of, he is a generally a swing bowler, right? I mean, if you see his statistics and his performances away from home, he performs quite well. But at the same time, he's military medium, someone who can bowl at 130, 135. And I personally feel that at this point of time, Ajit Agarkar and Gautam Gambhir, they want someone who is a little bit more, someone maybe like Mohammad Siraj or Prasidh Krishna, or even see why Akashdeep wasn't drafted into the England side. I mean, Akashdeep has a pace of around 130, which might not have been so suited to those pitches. So, having said that, I mean, Mukesh Kumar could have been selected because of the upcoming New Zealand tour. But again, the selectors would have definitely thought that maybe he will not get a game because we have already Bumrah, Siraj, maybe Akashdeep, Prasidh Krishna, and Arshdeep. We already have this five pace bowlers already who are settled and who are going to be kind of selected in the New Zealand tour. So if someone falls victim to some injury, then maybe Mukesh Kumar could have been, or let's say, could be drafted into the side. But if you see the players who are right now the first choices, I think those five pacers which I have just now named, they are the first choices. And Mukesh Kumar also is not a good fielder. If you see Gambhir once kind of a three-dimension kind of player always. I have seen Mukesh Kumar fumble at different positions on the ground. So it could be one of the reasons that he is not kind of physically fit. Someone very much similar to Mohammad Shami, who is not a good fielder or a natural fielder, which maybe we have selectors have pointed out. So there could be different reasons, but yes, for the New Zealand tour, he could have been thought about. But again, I think the selectors already have the first 15 for New Zealand tour in their mind. So maybe that could be the reason.
Okay, thank you so much, Amit. Sudeep, you have spoken on Mukesh, right?
Yeah, I
Yes.
spoke.
Yeah.
Only one thing
Yeah,
I would
spoke.
like to
So
point out.
final-
One point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One
sure.
thing that whatever chances Mukesh Kumar has got in T20s and ODIs, he has been extremely expensive. So that has, I think, also gone against him. I just like to add this thing.
Very good
But
point. Yes,
still,
true.
I would have loved to see him in the time in
Yeah,
the team,
because
because for the New Zealand trip, he would, I think, would have been very
Because in
useful.
New Zealand, I have a feeling because Prashid Krishna will not be of great help in New Zealand, which is 140. We'll need Arshdeep, we'll need Akashdeep, and we'll need Mukesh and Bumrah. I don't know how the selections will pan out by then because New Zealand is February, I think. But I think Mukesh should have been built up. My personal take is if I was the coach, I would have taken him for one test, then in South Africa, I get one test to build his confidence, and then I would have played him. But Indian cricket, as Ayan rightly said, goes the way no one knows. Inexplicable. Which brings us finally to the final question. Again, a contentious issue. Saurav Ganguly became a vice captain. If you remember in 2000, when just the match fixing saga was spreading its ugly head, he and I still distinctly remember, I don't remember, Amit will not that much. Saurav and Ajay Jadeja were the two the vice captains. And I was sitting in front of NDTV and I was hearing Ajay Jadeja, just because he was not a test regular, he lost out. And I think who was the chief of selectors? So Saurav historically became a captain when Sachin stepped down after the 99 debacle. Against South Africa, it was 0-2. India lost that series in home. India, in any country, you see how Jacob Bethel, I think Harry Brook became a vice captain because they're pushing him. They're pushing him as a vice captain. Subman Gill has been fast-tracked into T20 because of that. We have people, it's always a norm that someone whom you want to see as a leader, you make him a vice captain and then you captain. Rishabh Pant, of course, Bumrah doesn't play all test matches, so he's ruled out as a vice captain. This has been starting from the VGT onwards. But a person who's got 1 year left, going to retire, just because he's got 500 runs, 14 runs, and he was one of those guys, along with KL Rahul, which our reporter Sayak also reported, that KL Rahul and Jadeja their necks were on the line under Gautam Gambhir because they had over 30 players. So, Sudeep, what do you think? Why a 36-year-old man is made the vice captain? Is this a stopgap effort? Because when Rishabh Pant comes in, I think probably that's a stopgap. But why Pant? KL Rahul could have been the vice captain. I mean, making Jadeja the vice captain clearly tells me one thing, that they are not looking at KL Rahul, which I had always said that give him a 1 year captaincy, make Shubman Gill the vice captain to KL when Shubman learns the trick of the trade and then push him. And that is the way the England is also doing. They're pushing Harry Brook to Ben Stokes so that when Ben Stokes breaks down, and Ben Stokes has a history of breaking down, Ollie Pope has been a vice captain for a long time, and now you make Harry Brook because he's the T20 captain. That is how you groom a leader. 36, what value addition will Jadeja do as a captain? Vice captain.
I think this is another baffling decision by the board. There are so many twists and turns and so many mysteries, involved. But this is another baffling. This is certainly looks like a stopgap arrangement. Because otherwise they could have gone for if you want to groom somebody as a vice captain, then Yashasvi Jaiswal could have been the good choice.
Yes, that is another choice. Correct. Because he's
Yashasvi
almost
Jaiswal
all
would have
format.
been.
But I think Jaiswal is not there in T20. Maybe I've gone against him. Maybe,
but this is, if you are looking at a test side, then that is a different ball game. And I think if this is you could have easily groomed. You could have both the young captain,
making a 36-year-old as a vice captain for me is a regressive call.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
a regressive
think
call.
Jadeja has anything.
Basically.
to gain, anything more to
No,
achieve as a,
nothing to gain.
being made a. So this is just a stopgap arrangement because KL Rahul, he has, I think, if I remember correctly, he has declined, the captaincy or the vice
He
captaincy
had
once.
declined it.
He
Okay,
had declined.
okay.
So that is why Jadeja is the only choice at the moment, given that Bumrah is not available for every test, So they have made, Jadeja. This is a stopgap arrangement before
So
again
yeah, I
Pant
also
comes
think
back.
because vice captaincy of Jadeja just because he scored 514 runs.
Huh,
So as projected by the media that this is a reward for doing that, and looks
huh.
very stupid because Jadeja has got another year to go. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do not see Jadeja as any futuristic captaincy ambition when
No, no,
Shubman Gill
no,
will be
no.
captain for 5 years at least.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
with
yeah.
KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, all so many candidates, they are up.
And they are
Uh,
looking for Rishabh Pant as a vice captain for the long
Correct.
term. Otherwise, they
Obviously,
could
I
have
think so.
easily gone for Yashasvi Jaiswal because
I
see,
think
they
so.
don't want to make a young player, make a vice captain and again then remove
Correct.
him. It
Yeah,
hampers
yeah,
his
yeah.
confidence. So I
Correct.
think they have
Absolutely.
made as
That's
a
what I
stopgap
said.
arrangement, Jadeja.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is a weird decision, again, a stopgap decision, basically. I think
Stopgap.
that,
It's a
yeah,
stopgap
I
arrangement.
think so. Stopgap decision. Yeah, thanks, Sudeep. Aaron, your call on Lord Jadeja being the vice captain.
So I would say that, yeah, I mean, this is absolutely, it can be seen if you look at it in a sort of, what should I say, negative light, then it is retrogressive. It is completely
Very
nonsensical
retrogressive.
to
Yeah,
have
yeah,
somebody
absolutely.
who's 36-year-old as a captain. In fact, then I would say that, if you have a debacle, real debacle in New Zealand, would you get Ajinkya Rahane back? I would say that
Correct.
please get Rahane back because he
Rahane back.
still is probably better than many of these players when it comes to
Absolutely.
playing good
Absolutely.
quality,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, so then you should get him back. On the other hand, there is one thing I do feel, Rahul, that you remember that in Saurav's last test against this Australia in 2008,
Correct. 2008.
2008, Dhoni had him captain in the last session. You
Right,
remember,
right,
right?
right,
Dhoni had him
right,
captain.
right.
That's a
Very,
suggestion. That
very
is just a sort of a, acknowledging sort of fantastic
acknowledging sort of
contribution as a captain,
contribution to cricket. Yep,
right?
yep, yep,
So
yep.
this may be the Indian Cricket Board's acknowledgement of Jadeja, because they well know that Jadeja's days are probably not going to be too long,
Numbered.
and
Yeah.
he's
So you're saying it's
really,
a okay, it's a swan song
yeah,
basically, swan
it
song
is
sort of a
swan
thing.
song,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Because he is. I mean, see, very frankly speaking, I had sort of lost hope about Jadeja because I really thought that he was being carried by the team. I thought that his batting
Is the information we
was,
had from the Shayok also that Jadeja was on the line. His neck was on the
yeah.
line.
See, because I do believe that in the last part of the previous decade, in 2018, 1920, Jadeja was in fantastic batting form. Fantastic batting form. I mean, he
Yeah,
was. I
yeah.
think that was the time when we were really failing abroad all the time. But even in the World Cup in 2019 at England, I think it was Jadeja who really did the batting most of the time. Fantastic
Correct.
form, and I really thought that he was one of our best batters in all kinds of conditions. He was always a great player
Correct.
inside India,
Correct.
but even abroad he was playing well. Then I thought that he was getting old. His
Yeah.
reflexes were slowing, and I thought
Yeah.
that he was going to be a liability abroad. But lo and behold, in the last tour against England, I think again he performed absolutely out of his skin. I mean,
I
he
think that
batted
the
brilliantly.
England series, two people surprised me. One Shubman Gill, the other was
Yes,
Jadeja.
Jadeja,
Pant
and
and
he
KL Rahul
batted.
and Yashasvi were more on the lines. But
Yeah, yeah.
Jadeja's 514 was
Yashasvi is
really something.
very, yeah. Yashasvi is a bit of a, either he hits and hit and miss type of. Either he hits or he misses, which is a problematic thing as an opener.
We
He
have
has to be
discussed
much more
Yashasvi.
consistent.
Yashasvi basically
We
is
have
a
at
one
length.
innings. One innings. The first
Yeah,
innings
yeah,
of a first
at
test,
length.
and then he
Yes,
tapers off.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
So Jadeja really defied all expectations. He performed brilliantly in England as a batter, and so I think this is a kind of acknowledgement of what he has done. And he's a very solid team player. I don't think he's very very astute tactically. I think he's more of a rush of blood type of. I mean, in terms of
Yeah.
captaincy, he probably goes by
I
instinct.
think he never had a captaincy instinct, which you rightly said, for
Never,
which he was never
yeah.
considered. He was never considered.
He's not a shrewd tactician by any means.
Correct.
He would just go by some instinct, and I think not. I mean, Kohli, for example, I've never considered to be a very sharp captain ever.
I
Right?
also never
Huh,
have considered Colin
I think
ever. Ever.
Jadeja is of a similar ilk, probably even worse. So I think this is the best that he could have ever had, a vice captainship, and this is the
So-
board's way of saying thank
So
you.
I think what you were saying, which Indian board is very stingy, or you say not benevolent enough. So this is a farewell swan song sort of a thing to his
Yes.
contribution. That is what you think.
To
I
saying
also
thank
think
you.
the same. Yeah, thank
It's
you.
saying
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because KL Rahul, I think again that highway my way thing, he is not in line with as Sudeep said, he might have. I have skipped that part. He might have. Uh, uh,
Decline.
he might have declined. I have missed that part, but I have always been vocal about KL Rahul being captain for a year before Shubman took over, but the board overstepped that process. I think KL Rahul is not in the good books also, which I also understand from media. He and Jadeja were on the line, and Rishabh Pant also, but luckily all of them performed. But Jadeja's vice captaincy is another of the weird decisions that has come up, and we're all surprised. This is a stopgap. This is has to be a stopgap because Rishabh Pant will be back against West Indies. Thanks, Ayan.
Right, right.
And finally, Amit, Lord Jadeja being the vice captain, your take.
They don't have any option. Bumrah doesn't want to be the vice captain. And right now, Jadeja is probably the most person in the Indian team. I mean, ideally, he should have been the captain, but Jadeja doesn't have the quality to be a captain. That's why.
That's what exactly Ayan said. Jadeja and captaincy, if you think, close your eyes, you will shudder. Jadeja doesn't have inspired the confidence of a captain.
Just if you remember the CSK timing when he was the captain, I mean, he left midway and Dhoni again took the charge. So
absolutely.
He doesn't bring any confidence as a leader. But having said that, he's a senior most pro, performed exceedingly well in England with the bat. He can contribute pretty well with the ball as well in Indian conditions. So, the selectors, instead of putting further controversy into the selection, they wanted to have a safe candidate, and they rightly
This is, I think, this way of thanking Jadeja for his contribution, as Ayan rightly said, and a very short-term look. I mean, it's not a long rope at all, because I think Rishabh Pant is.
Yes, Rishabh Pant would have been the vice captain if he was fit. And again, I think Rishabh Pant would be, if he's selected for the South Africa series, he will be again coming back as a vice captain.
Yeah,
but
in India, normally in a home series, we don't select a vice captain. That is also another surprise which the selectors have sprung. Because normally in a home series, we have a captain and the wicketkeeper. I mean, also 2 wicketkeepers is also a surprise. I think they don't have too much faith on Jurel as a keeper. He's more of a batsman. So that is why Jagdishan. But otherwise, I think in a home series, as far as I recall, I have not seen a vice captain for a very long time. I think it is Jadeja, just a stopgap, and because Pant is out, and maybe a way of.
If Gill goes out of the ground, who will kind of take the charge of the team? I think Jadeja can do that. And Jasprit Bumrah doesn't want to be in that position because he might not play both the test match against West Indies. He might take one, he might play one and skip the other one. So that's how Bumrah, I look at it.
And as we are hearing from all corners, even Rajdeep said, Jasprit Bumrah can well say goodbye to Test cricket in the end of the year, just after the current cycle. So I don't think he's looking at any sort of captaincy and vice captaincy, anything more, because he knows his back may not hold out for another year, maybe. So maybe a T20 bowler, maybe. So on that note, I'd like to thank all of you. It was a very long program, but we deliberately did it because we're going to break up before Puja, and we're going to come back after a long time. So the 3 important points that came up. One very good point from Sudeep. Shreyas Iyer has timed it perfectly. He's looking at the New Zealand series and he looks at it. Maybe he's waiting to see what happens, and it is a time-bound call. That is a good point. Ayan had a very good point saying that Jasprit Bumrah may be forced by BCCI to play after his very shoddy performance in Asia. We never know what is happening. We never know what happens with BCCI, as Rajendra said. And Ayan also made a very good point. The Sai Sudarshan is not a number 3 we are looking at. given the chance that we have other players also. But currently, the selectors think he is the best way to go forward. I do not see him as a number 3, as you rightly said, too much of a bottom hand. Shuffling is so bad that he might get out very quickly against a quality spinner. So I have a big doubt against, to be very frank, against Sai Sudarshan. I thought if Abhimanyu Ishwaran was a little careful, if he scored a 150, 200 against Australia, he could have edged out Sudarshan to get into the side. I think he could have. Definitely. And Mukesh Kumar, we all are unanimous that he's a number 11. But still, I think Mukesh should have been in the side. So if you are preparing
Ishwaran,
someone,
I think one thing, Rahul, that Ishwaran should be flexible. That is very important.
Well,
He
that's
should
another good
now
point,
try
yes.
going down
Yes.
the order.
Yeah, well, Ishwaran, I think if you are so desperate to play for the country as this comes out from his dad, yeah, I forgot to mention, yes, flexibility in the batting order, that is important. I think Abhimanyu Ishwaran will be discussed for quite some time, and if India plays badly, I have a strong feeling that India is going to have a tough time against South Africa. I'm quite sure about it because I think the Eden pitch is going to be tough. At what Saurav Ganguly is hinting at, it is going to be a batting paradise, whoever wins the toss. And if South Africa wins it, so India is in for trouble at Eden Gardens. So on that note, we would conclude it before the pujas. We would like to wish all our experts and all our viewers a very, very happy Durga Puja and Dasera Ram Navami till we come back middle of next week, middle of October. Wishing everyone a very happy Durga Puja to Sudeep, Ayan and Amit. We'd like
Yeah.
to sign off today.
And
Happy
pujas
Durga Puja to
everyone,
all.
each and everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Happy
to
Durga Puja
everyone,
all.
all
Yeah,
of
Shubho
us.
Sharodya. Shubho Sharodya.
Shubho
to all.
Sharodya.
Shubho
And we-
Sharodya.
And we had a fantastic discussion for a year, an hour and a half on a very contentious few issues and a very surprising and weird few issues. So on that note, I'd like to say good night and Shubho Sharodya to all of you. Thank you.